I'm about to get started. Today I'm going to be drawing the picture you see here on the screen. We'll be painting the colors for the other four tribes here, and I'll talk about what I'm doing along the way, and I'll also do some cleanup on some of the other images because these aren't done and they aren't entirely accurate in places, and the original image needs some work, and I want to color the line work in these guys, and so there's a lot to do still. But I want to get at least some basic level of completion done with everything, and then I can start going in and tweaking it and making it all look polished. So that's what we're going to be up to. Let me just pull up a few things on my other monitor. Okay. And let me get to it. So we'll go down to the Broodveer. Okay. Welcome to the stream. So, need to create a couple of layers underneath here, of course. We'll start with our flat layer. Flats. And I'll need my selection tool, no anti-aliasing. And let's get a good skin tone here for the Broodveer. Broodveer are pretty pale, right? They're northern wintry stock. So we'll give them a little bit of a pinkish skin. Let's just see what that looks like there. Oh, that's way too pink. Yeah, we'll see how that looks. All right. So, selection tool, and we'll just get the outline of the figure here. Kind of looking forward to getting into the eyes on this one. The Broodveer have the yellow dog eyes or wolf eyes, canine eyes. So that should be fun. Okay, so then I'll just move in and refine my outline here. Make sure I'm not straying outside the lines too far. I guess any amount is too far, right? Okay. Here's my selection launcher. There we go. What a lovely pink you are. Okay. So, with the other eyes, I was kind of doing a bluish gray, but with the Broodveer, I'll want to do a yellowish gray. And I might even go like a little darker than I might have for the other eyes. And oops. There we go. Ooh, that yellow next to that pink is really green. Yellow is such a hard color. It does not fit comfortably with its nearby colors. It's still pretty green. Like, it's too easily shifted towards a mustardy green or a dirty brown. Finding that perfect yellow in the right color context is so tricky. And this is not it. I don't think this is it. We'll look out here. Nope. But that's okay. Grab our paint bucket here. Close gap or area scale. And let's play with a few different options. Oh, that's better. Oops, what did I just do? I don't even know how I did that. Yeah, that works. Okay, so then another thing I want to look at is his mouth. The face is looking down and to the side, and his mouth is more or less angled right at us. And so I think I need to alter that in order to make the rest of this make sense. A little bit. I don't know if that's going to be easy. Crap. Well, let's see what we can do. Oops. You know what? And I'm just gonna cut off the tip of the mustache and fix it later, because it'll be easier to fix the mustache than it will be to. So let's see. Actually, I think that little bit of tweak helped a lot. So there will be the mandible, zygomatic arc. I think it's actually the nose is too low. That's the problem. Yep, there we go. I think I can get away with just cheating this mustache back together. No, I should move that stuff up too. That's okay. Okay, so after this short little sidetrack, we'll get into the shading. I just needed to correct this before I tried to shade it because you know, the planes of the face need to be in the right place so that when I draw in the shadows, they match those planes. And that's something that's like not happening over here. This is a mess. So I'll have to correct this because this cheek is, who knows what shape it is. It's not cheek shaped, that's for sure. These guys are doing a better job. Still not sure how much light the edge of the mouth should catch, but we'll see. So let's see. Here we go. Got my... Is that everything for... I don't need to back the hair, I don't think, because I'm going to change the color of that anyway. Oh, I got some stray pink over here, though. There we go. Some over here. Okay, so I'm going to desaturate this just a little bit so that it's not quite so hot. And let's see what that looks like next to... I think that's gonna... Yeah, I think that's gonna do a better job of cooling off this hot pink here. So we'll put a new layer up and we'll drop the opacity down a little bit so that we get some blending. And let's just slather a bunch. Oh yeah, we want to clip it to the layer below, and then we'll slather on a bunch of shadow and just work with what we can make out of it. All right. Huh. Yeah. Uh-oh, that's a problem. So in a couple of places, right here above the eye, you probably can't tell on your monitor. Maybe you can, but if I zoom in, maybe you can see it. At one point, so my eyedropper was set to obtain display color, and so I grabbed the display color to go back from transparent, because this layer, what I thought of as transparent, and then painted in the the part that I had accidentally erased. The problem was I picked up the display color, and which is slightly transparent. It's 76% opacity, and then I put it back onto a 76 opacity layer, so it's even more desaturated and transparent, and then that left me with a weird color here. So what I actually want to make sure is I'm picking up color from layer, and then I can, no matter what I set this layer to, it'll always pick up the same color. If I was obtaining display color, then I'd actually be getting a gray, you see over here, instead of the color of the layer itself. So let's put this back up at 75-ish. Close enough. And fix that little problem there before it runs away with me. Let's get that nice pink skin back. Oh yeah, clip this back to the layer below it. There we go. Oops. Just gotta get the edge of the light striking the nose there. A little bit more onto the flatter part of the nose, and then less as it goes downward. probably pick up a little bit of highlight there and there. And on the eyelid. Actually, I should probably, okay, so when I come back in and recolor the artwork, on each of these, where I've got the edge of the ocular cavity showing on the sides of the nose, I should actually probably turn that into a highlight. Here I've tried to do that, but I don't need that dark line. The highlight leading to a dark line actually implies that there's a crease there. And I don't want to imply a crease. I want you to see that there is a little bit of light just hitting the inside of that bony ridge because of its prominence in relation to the rest of the skin around it. So I should probably, and yeah, see, I tried to fake it again here too. So it looks like there's actually like a crease. So when we go back to touch up on the line work, or excuse me, to recolor the line work, I'll make sure to change that bit of line to a highlight rather than a dark line, and that'll help clear up that confusion. Where was I? Oh yeah, carving away shadows. So the nose will block the cheek, and the cheek is going to come off of... There we go. And then here's the edge of the shadow. That seems kind of small. Go up the bony ridge there. Not quite. We should also have it's better. Just get that little bit of... Oh, I somehow covered up my eyes. Huh. Something's going on funky here. What layer is that on? Oh. There we go. All right. Well, now that we've been staring at his luscious lips for a few minutes. Well, those are actually very red. I don't know if that's too red. I can correct it. It's just... Ooh, how does that look? Yeah, it's very red. Okay, so I'm gonna just throw up a desaturation layer. So I need new correction layer for hue, saturation, and luminosity. Oh, I should make a selection first. Alright, so selecting the lips. And then we don't want this, we only want this to affect two layers. Or well, all these layers actually. No, just these two layers. Alright, and then we'll do layer, new correction layer, HSL, and of course it's on the other screen. Bring that over. Well, let's just drop the saturation down a little bit. Better. And not that way. Not that way. That's pretty good. Oh, I'm missing some shadows on the forehead here. Little shadows in the creases. Okay, and then we'll just grab our highlight color here. If I figure out what layer I left it on. That's it. Throw another layer in here and clip it down and just pick off some shiny points on that dome. All right. Now we'll do a little bit of shading and detailing in the eyes, and I think that'll be it for the Broodveer. So, also got some uncooperative pixels here on the shading layer, so let's take care of that while we're here. There we go. So for this, I think I'll use my multiply layer and a warm gray. I'll just put the eyelid shadow on there. And then suggest the curvature of the iris a little bit. Ooh, not like that. And pop in a few highlights. And there we go. And since I keep talking about it, but I haven't done it yet, and it's kind of, important for the Broodveer, let's go ahead and color the line work for this before we move on to the Hrothi, who will probably be similarly pink and pale. So in order to color the line work easily, I'm going to just throw in a new raster layer above my ink layer and clip it downward. And then I'll pick a color that seems to complement the shapes. Well, let's do the hair first, since that's what I'm really here about. So I want a reddish hair color. Well, I want to start with the darks because this will be the base, and then I'll color stuff above it to highlight out individual strands. So let's find that dark brownish red. And we'll just, ooh, that's not even dark enough. Try that. Oh, I never did fix the curl on that side either. Let's get that to black pen. Whoa, slow down. And then back on my ink coloring layer, I'll just pick out that mustache separately from the skin. There we go. And also the eyebrows. Okay, so then in a layer above that, and also clipped down to the same whole mess, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to pick out some strands that I want to be lighter. Not much lighter, come on now. There'll be more of those on the bright side here. They'll be thinner and sparser on the dark side, but they're still there. And alright, so I think that looks pretty good at a distance. Might be a few too many fine lines in there. But let's give similar treatment to the, you know what, in fact, yeah, there is too much going on over here. I'm gonna have to slim some of these out so that we're not losing the backing color. Maybe I should have done these transparently on top. Didn't I? Oh, I did. Yeah, that helps a lot. Alright, good. So, let me grab those same colors here real quick. We'll go up and weave them in. Okay. So to a certain extent, we'll want to give similar treatment to all of the magnificent mustaches on all of the faces. But that's kind of a preview of where we're headed in that direction. And, you know, with the brood beard kind of being distinctive with their bushy, hairy brows and hair color, I thought that would be fun. So let's get the Hrothi put up. Let me just look at my time here. Make sure I'm not forgetting my coffee. Oh, cold. Give me a sec to rest my hand. So what do you think so far? No commentary? So the Hrothi. Let me pull up my view of the Hrothi. Let's see what I can see. Someday. By the way, if you haven't looked at the new format for the game guide, it's pretty nice. They've now upgraded a lot of the game information to version 3 of the website, so you can find fun little tidbits like, you know, each tribe has their own special page. That is not showing up in chat for me. Is chat broken? Are you guys actually talking and I don't see it? Alright, well, it showed up that time. If you got 2 links, you got 2 links. Anyways, so that's where we're headed with this one. Let's see. Bulky stature. Fair skin, hair slightly more red than Naren. To auburn and bright red. Oh, should we do bright red? Let's do it. Okay, so fair skin, fair skin. But kind of Naren-y. So we'll go with a on the browner side of things as far as skin tones go. Oh, let's make sure I'm in the right folder too. Hrothi. a new layer up there. Yeah, that's fairer than the Naren. Oh, you know, that's not what I want to do. All right, we'll zoom in here and refine my selection. Okay, looking good, looking good. Fill it up. Let's try this one. Yeah, I like that better. Now, I just picked out a color for the shadows, but I'm not ready to use it yet because, of course, I still have some other areas to make. So I'm just going to kind of chalk it in there so I have it in a second. And then we'll go back down to my flats layer and do the eyes. And I'm just going to grab... Did that work? Nope. I'm transparent. Of course, because I'm... display color. There we go. Eye color. Varying shades of brown. Everybody's got the brown eyes. Okay. Dark brown, light brown. Do a more light brown this time, I think. Oh, and look over here. A little bit of mess to clean up. There we are. I've been in the COE community since just before the Kickstarter opened. Or maybe just after. What does my account say, actually? I can find out. May 8th of 2016. Okay, so eyes. Oh, lips. Let's do lips. Lips, 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 lips. Oh. It takes me forever to find a good lip color if you haven't noticed. No. Maybe? No. What game features are you most interested in? Oh, dang it. Well, I guess that works. There we go. Smooth that out a little bit. We'll see how that looks. Oh, was I doing that all on the wrong layer too? I sure was. Well, good. We'll just slice it out. Yeah, it really does all sound good. Like that's the problem I keep having is that I know that I can't do everything, but I kind of want to do everything. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to be a Duke, is because then I can kind of have my fingers in everything and I can vicariously do everything without actually having to spend my entire 24/7 playing Chronicles of Valyria. Yeah, beta is going to be a lot of fun. Once all the major game features are in place and we're really getting a lot of people in there, it's going to be so exciting. I can't wait. Here we go. All right, so shadows. Yeah, I have that problem too. It was all right before they got the idea to sell extra character slots. Now, like, most games give you like just 3 character slots, but like World of Warcraft or EverQuest, they're just like, yeah, sure, just make, a dozen characters on each server, no problem. Oh yeah, I've been drawing since I could hold a crayon in one hand. And I went to art college, um, so that helped a little bit too. So shadows and light. He's got this really prominent. There we go. Nice strong shadow in there. Put the mustache mostly in shadow. Apologies, by the way, for my mumbling at times. I know it's not always loud enough to pick up on the mic, but usually I'm just muttering to myself about what I'm doing. I try to make sure that I'm heard if I'm going to say anything particularly useful to people wanting to know more about the drawing process, but I also tend to get lost in what I'm doing and forget that people are watching. So let's see, finding the cheek. Oh, see, I put the shadow really far forward on the head here this time. Let's pare that back, that'll help. Yeah, we're already with the Hrothi. So making your own custom avatar. Like, you mean like drawing your own custom avatar, or just formatting an image to be your avatar? Well, I mean, this one here is my custom avatar, and I went through all the same basic steps to create each of these images. So I'll show you on the Dross because you can see. Well, let's just look at the Naren because it's all put together. What is this? Oh. Oh, okay, that's the line coloring. So I started with just this barest outline sketch, and then added in the features of the face for the character, and then I inked those features, and then added in a base skin tone and tone for each individual piece of the composition, threw in the shading, and colored the line work. Now I'm doing this all digitally, so it's really easy to build that all up. If you want to do it traditionally, it's still entirely possible. What you do I have mine with me? Oh, here it is. Get yourself a really good eraser. I use these kneaded erasers. Whoa. Damn, this is old and crusty, but this is a very dirty kneaded eraser. And this is really nice for removing pencil lines from paper. So what you would do is you would lightly sketch in your pencil lines, your supporting structural drawing. And for that, you'd want to use a hard pencil. This is a 4H pencil. The harder the pencil, the lighter the line that it will create. And so then you can be confident that you're not going to make too dark of a line. And then you can go in and erase it after you've put some kind of ink over it. For ink, you can use a Sharpie marker, although on certain paper types those tend to bleed. You can use a normal Bic pen, although that doesn't have a very smooth ink to it. I don't think I have one handy. Hold on just a second here. What I use is a nib. So this is my G pen. It's the same pen basically that I use in Clip Studio, the G pen, and then you use that with some good quality Black India ink. And I mean, it takes a lot of practice to get used to this, but it doesn't erase. There's a lot of different types of ways to deliver India ink. They have some self-contained pens that like hold the ink for you. Oh, am I pulling the wrong thing off here? Here we go. Crap. Oh, it's stuck. It's been on. I haven't used these pens in a long time. But anyways, you can get these kind of sort of pseudo pump pens, brush pens. But I mean, nothing really beats the old school tactile feel of the nib. You can also use a brush. If you get a really nice, and this, it's not in great condition, but it's not as bad as it could be. This is a Winsor Newton Series 7 brush. This is a number 2. And that is basically the standard, the Cadillac of brushes. It lays down a really nice ink line, and it takes a while to get used to it, but you get some really nice effects with the brush too. So if you don't have all the digital equipment handy, it still kind of takes a certain level of physical equipment, but you can really use anything. So long as you're willing to get in there and work with your lines, I know some people who work entirely in Sharpie and do a great job with it. You just have to make sure you have cold press paper so that it doesn't bleed. And then also get some whiteout or some white pencil or some kind of white, and then you can, correct mistakes in ink. White watercolor paint works too. And then once you've got all that done, once again, the reason you're using India ink is because it's not water soluble ink. So if you wanted to add color on top of that, you can watercolor, and the ink will stay on top and the watercolor will go underneath the ink. So that's essentially the same process that I'm simulating here. And that's why knowing your traditional processes and traditional styles and how to use traditional tools helps so much in these programs, because they're trying to simulate exactly that. And that's why I use the same pen digitally that I would on paper. So I hope that answers your question. That was kind of a lengthy explanation. Oh, actually, I can recommend a book for you that I happen to have right here that I think has materials and techniques in it for comic book style work. Oh no, this is all about comic book storytelling. Never mind. This is the book I'm thinking of. Is it? Table of contents. This doesn't actually help me. Nope, that's not the book I was looking for either. I don't know what book I was looking for, but it's not on my desk right now. Oh, yep, here it is. I knew I had it here somewhere. This is Drawing Words and Writing Pictures, which is really an entire class on comic art in one book, and I reference it a lot. But it has a chapter on penciling and inking and all of the nib inking and stuff like that. So check this book out, Drawing Words, Writing Pictures. It's more or less my Bible. Okay, so we're just sketching in some details on the Hrothi here. Oh, let's throw some color underneath. What time is it? 11:22. Okay. The mustache here. Oh, and we were going to do them with bright red hair, right? So zoom in. Sometimes I forget eyelashes. I forget that people have eyelashes. I'll make sure I give everybody eyelashes. Yeah, lashes. Some lashes. No lashes on these guys. Well, okay, so he's got a double eyelid, so I won't give him much in the way of lashes. They tend to point down, which just accentuates the shadow on the iris. And speaking of, or on the iris, on the eyeball. Speaking of the shadow, let's do that part. I'll throw in a multiply layer. Nice medium color. That's pretty strong. I might have to lighten that up. Oh, I should put freckles on there. You're right. You're right. And I'll probably, I'm, at some point I'm probably going to have to tone down the pinkness of the Brood Beer. I think it's a little much. So I'll be fiddling with that. I can do layers that allow me to fiddle with the colors. I did it a little bit. Where did I do that already? I think I did that with the Brood Beer a little. Yeah. What was I changing? Oh, his lips. I wanted to quickly change the lip color, so I did that. So I can get back in there and fiddle with all the color and change it and tweak it and stuff like that. I'm actually not. I kind of suck at picking the right color, and I need to work more on color theory and the way colors interact, and also. I mean, this is a really simple single tone shading style. If I was being honest, I'd be including a core shadow and I have, I hint at reflected light, but like all underneath the jawline, I'd want to, pull back the shadowing so that I can, where am I here? Because there would be some level of reflected light coming up off of the surface of his chest, bouncing light back up underneath the chin, and there would be a darker shadow here, It didn't work at all. No? Oh, what we'd call a core shadow, and the transition between those shadows would be fuzzier instead of hard. But I'm not doing all that because I just want these to be quick illustrations, and I don't want to spend all day with an airbrush making sure that all of the shadows are super accurate. But I do want this to look good, so you know, I'm compromising at this cartoony cell shaded style. I think that, oh, you know what? Let's color those eyebrows too. There's our Hrothi. No, I need a little more shadow here. Oh, and the big ink shadow. I might revisit this ink shadow on each figure too, because I don't think it necessarily always jives with the direction that light is expected to travel. In relation to the colors, but we'll see. Oh yeah, highlights. So let's see here. Yeah, that's enough. And I forgot a little bit of lip shine on the Broodveer, so we'll do that too. Okay, so I like where that leaves us today. I'm almost out of time. Oh yeah, the one is without a shadow. I can throw that in real quick. He's got a longer neck, so we'll give him a slightly differenter shadow. There we go. All right. So that's where we'll leave it for today. I will. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you like them. They're fun to draw, and I'm glad I decided to do this little exercise. Yeah, they really did look the same, and to a certain extent, that was the intent. I want them to have. Oh, I mean, I've been doing this since 10, so it's been an hour and a half. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed watching, and check me out. I'll be doing this again tomorrow, same time, about between 9:30 and 10 Pacific, which is between 12:30 and 1 Eastern. So, oh yeah, I gotcha. When you do the same kind of strokes over and over again, it's just really easy to lay in those shadows. I must have done about a bajillion shadows underneath necks. I used to draw caricatures at amusement parks, so that's like one of the easiest, quick black strokes that you can do to give depth to the image and make the face stand out from the neck. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow morning, so feel free to come check me out, and check the links underneath my my little video window here. There are ways to toss me a couple of dollars for as a tip if you enjoyed your time here, or even support me on a monthly basis through Patreon. All of these things help me live a normal life rather than the chili out of a can life as an artist. So all greatly appreciated, and I'll catch you guys next time.